So, who am I and what do I do? My name is Kurt Midness, and I'm a marketing director for Volcom for many years, which is a business that's transformed into liberated brands. So it's kind of more than just the Volcom brand at this point. The easiest answer I've given people over the years, because I've worked here for a while, is I'm like the music guy for this brand. Being the music guy just kind of means you're like the catch-all for kind of looking over all the instances of when music is used within the brand. So there's so many ways that goes down. Everything from, maybe you have a live event that you need a live music or a DJ, or I do a lot of music supervision because we make a lot of content, mostly surfing, skateboarding, snowboarding content. And then, it's everything from I helped get Volcom set up with Sound Machine to better curate the music in the stores. And, I picked out the music for when you're on hold, if you call Volcom. And then, you have to have that. It's just, from a marketing angle, we've been lucky enough to work with musicians over the years as brand ambassadors. So I'm working on those relationships. And one interesting thing about doing this kind of work for Volcom is that when I started at Volcom, it was to work for their record label. For years, Volcom had an in-house label called Volcom Entertainment that operated pretty much like an indie label would. So I was doing all those kind of things that labels would do. But it was always a little different because it's part of a clothing brand too. So that transition into just a, fully marketing role came pretty natural, just because that's how we were already working. It's really kind of the nature of the beast, that you have to stay aware of what's going on and stay aware of the things that will keep you relevant. Volcom's been around for over 30 years, so the brand has already seen this life cycle of when they started, they were the up and coming brand. They were the new thing, and people can like you because of that. And then the challenge as the years go on is to still make those connections with the new things that are happening now, knowing that you've transitioned into more of a heritage brand after 30 years. So, it's all kinds of things, it's I think when it comes to Volcom specifically, you have to balance what you're true to at your core. Volcom's logo is true to this, and it points to that core that you're representing. You also have to make that balance with things like trends and new things and technology and stuff that you didn't they didn't know that we'd have smartphones when they started this company, and that you'd have to be on social media and stuff like that. And to where it is now, it's there's this whole other space that's not a brand experience going into a store, that's a digital space. If you spend some time there, it's really gives you a lot of information on how you can keep up and stay relevant. There's a thing with Volcom also, that the business has moved more into a direct-to-customer thing than when they started. It started as a strictly 100% wholesale brand. There were no Volcom stores. We were expanding our retail, and that's awesome because it gives people in real life experience where they can get the brand experience. But maybe they go and they see that, and then they go home and buy something online. So our e-commerce has grown a lot too. When you walk in the store, that is kind of where the rubber meets the road with customers and a real life experience with the brand. So you're hit with usually all these visuals and the clothes, and maybe you're touching the clothes and they have a tactile experience, and it shouldn't smell bad. But then assuming you're going to spend some time there, the music is a part of that brand messaging as well. There's also this purpose behind it too. You want people to feel comfortable in their shopping too. So like if you think about like the brand messaging for a brand like Volcom that is so deeply involved in like action sports and stuff, there's a lot of times we'll use music maybe in an edit or something like that, or at a live event or something like that. Stuff that's like, it might be like thrash metal or something like that. That's not what we want to play in our stores. That would turn a lot of people off, I think. So, and we're into other things too. Like it's always been an eclectic brand. But yeah, it's a whole part of the experience. Like the people in the store do have they can pick the music too. So it's an extension of them. Maybe what channels they want to listen to on Sound Machine. Yeah, and then we've done other things to leverage music for like store openings and stuff like that, where we've had live performances and DJs and things like that. We've worked for years with a group called Run the Jewels, and we've done a couple in stores with them, and that's like, that really creates a lot of hype when the artist is actually there. So you get a line around the block and stuff like that. And that goes a long way for delivering a brand message, I think, too. The main thing with Sound Machine for us was that it had a pretty eclectic range of what you could listen to. Like one thing that came up with me early on with Sound Machine kind of goes back to people's reactions in stores. Volcom has a lot of stores in Hawaii. In fact, we lost one in the Lahaina fire earlier this year. And our customers and our employees that work in those stores were asking for some specific music. Can we get, and they call it Hawaiian music. So it's basically like reggae music by Hawaiian artists. I said, let me get back to you. And I met with AJ, my rep at Sound Machine, and we established a Hawaiian playlist for those stores. It's a very specific genre, but it's also very specifically deployed in these locations. Like we're not playing the Hawaiian playlist at our store here at HQ per se, maybe sometimes, but yeah, I think all the stores kind of have the same baseline of needs, but having a whole group of stores in Hawaii kind of taught me about what even more specifically what their needs are. How important is Sound Machine to the ambience in the stores? It's really important because that's where that background music is coming in. That's where we get it from. The way we ended up with Sound Machine was checking out their platform and just seeing that they had, like, compared to some other platforms. I mean, obviously when you're in a branded store in America, at least, there's like, you have to be playing some form of licensed music. It's like a public performance of music or something like that. You're not supposed to just play whatever your playlist is, right? And going through Sound Machine's platform, I really got a feel for how customizable it is to where you can kind of make playlists from it. But it also works really well to, when that algorithm kicks in and, maybe you get it playlist idea started and it keeps it going in the same sort of vibe. Like I mentioned before, like we've done some live music in stores, and I've seen that get a little rowdy, and maybe like a mannequin gets knocked over and stuff. So people get excited when there's live music, and even when there's a DJ, it has a magnetism to it that attracts people. And sometimes they just go in the store. We have a store at our office here, and they've just tuned into the right channel at the right time, and you can tell people are bopping along in the store. And I'm the kind of guy, like I always like to have like some music on, some sort of rhythm in the background, even when you can't actively be listening. So I like to think when people come into the store, some music is having that same effect for them too. But that's just me. Music is everything. And that is the way that you connect with people as a brand. there's all sorts of ways you can do that. But you know, I've said this a lot over the years working at Volcom. It's like, you know, we have our endemic marketing platforms of surfing, snowboarding, skateboarding, and they're all in this bigger clump of like action sports, right? And you know, I've learned that it's like those things all go together great, right? But they don't necessarily connect with people. Like, for instance, like you might surf, but not really connect with snowboarding, or you might skate and not connect with surfing, or something like that, right? The people who are doing all those things, they all like music, and all their friends that don't surf, skate, or snowboard, they all like music too. And you know, to touch on a point we were kind of talking about earlier, where you know all the changes and stuff, like we live in an era where people are consuming more music than ever before. Like we have infinite options for music to listen to. I think the real challenge is it's like this great thing that's there for brands to try to build connections with it, but the real challenge comes with cutting through and amidst all this other music that's ubiquitous in the world right now. Music is really just an incredible connector. I listen to a lot of music that's like in foreign languages that I don't understand, and but I connect to it. I don't have to know what they're saying to feel that type of connection. There's something just more universal, I think, about music. I mean, it's all vibrations, right? I have eclectic tastes, and I'm always looking for something new to listen to, and not just like new, like the same old thing, but a new version of it, but something that has that stopping power. Like, whoa, what is this? Like, you know, that's something personal that I carry into my work as a music guy for a brand.